From the screams and heavy riffs to the haunting vocals and melodies from struggling individuals, all of this is grunge, a cultural and musical movement that took place around the late 80s and the early 90s. Today we're going to talk about grunge. Now this video is completely improvised on the move, so let's see what happens. The grunge movement really started in Seattle in the late 80s. It took many things from the punk genre, but opting for a more slow pace and with heavy riffs often to metal rather than punk. The vocals were raw and heavily distorted as well, and the lyrics were pretty much about anything without having much correlation between them. Of course, this is not the case for all the songs, because the lyrics also talk about the personal trauma, struggles and ideology of whoever wrote them, mainly focusing on problems of the American youth. Some of the early grunge bands were Mudhoney, The Malvins, Mother Love Bone, Spoon River and Soundgarden. We're gonna talk about them later. They were carrying the scene from 1985 to 1990 approximately, but to really understand the story of grunge we have to talk about the most known grunge band ever, Nirvana. In 1989, guitarist and vocalist Kurt Cobain, alongside bassist Chris Novoselic and Jamal Chachanin, released the first studio album Bleach on the Sub Pop Records. The album didn't receive much attention outside the scene, but it became popular on school radios, and this gave Nirvana some popularity before the great release that changed everything. Because in 1991, now on the DGC Records, and with drummer Dave Grohl, Nirvana released their second studio album, Nevermind, with their song Smells Like Teen Spirit becoming a massive hit and one of the anthems of grunge and rock in general. This release made grunge mainstream. Bands like Alice in Chains, Pearl Jam and Soundgarden became known as the fourth grade of grunge, including Nirvana. Now all what was unpopular now became popular, including the fashion. Now grunge fashion was characterized for being dirty, unwashed, old and ripped. Flannel shirts, ripped jeans, ripped jean jackets, cardigan, shoes that were falling apart were the favorite clothes of the bands in the movement. Even when they got famous and gained all the money mainstream bring to their wallets, they still prefer to dress like this. Why, you may ask? Simple, to keep it real. Grunge was about real feelings, raw energy and also raw people. No mask or fashionable clothes. They wanted to dress as dirty as possible to differentiate themselves from the other bands at that time. Mainly the glam metal bands that were dominating the mainstream before grunge came out and give people something fresh and more real. And of course the fashion icon of grunge is Kurt Cobain. His entire style was copied by many clothing brands to make people buy their products. Going against the message of grunge, this fashion became so ingrained in the culture that even today you can see the influence of grunge. The counterculture grunge was meant to be ended up becoming all the opposite, mainly because of MTV and the vast diffusion of grunge music videos. They played them over and over again, and this made people get into these bands that are the appealing of punk and metal, but in a more approachable way. Since grunge became mainstream now, the record labels were constantly searching for more grunge bands to satisfy all the demand at that time. This caused an oversaturation of the genre, and on top of that, due to the high attention and demand, many of the grunge bands started to suffer from the success, including Nirvana's frontman Kurt Cobain, which led to his death in 1994 after struggling with depression through his entire life. Now, with the main face of grunge gone, the movement had to slowly decline, with the other big grunge bands also disbanding or changing their sound. Alice in Chains stopped making music after the 1995 self-titled album, and after the MTV Unplugged and a couple of live performances, they stopped performing completely. due to Lane Staley's problems with addiction and depression. Soundgarden also broke up in 1997 after releasing their fifth studio album, Down on the Upside, in 1996. Although Pearl Jam didn't disband it, they were not able to carry the entire movement by themselves. However, although grunge was over, it just left an empty place for other genres to take it, like post-grunge in the UK, it was Britpop, and later on new metal. Yeah, new metal. If you want a video on that, just comment down below. In conclusion, the influence of grunge never died. It's still present to this day, with many modern bands choosing the sound over the over-polished rock and metal of today, just like in the late 80s and early 90s. History repeats itself yet again. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. I don't know if I'm gonna make another one of these. It depends. If people see this video and actually like it, then I'll keep going, mate. And if you want a video on grunge, but with more deep analysis and with more accurate information, then just comment. Please comment. Wait, there's a comment box down there to comment. Wait, and there's a like button for you to hit it, and there's a subscribe button for you to hit it as well. So hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and comment whatever the fuck you want.
Look at this photograph. Every time I do, it makes me.
The counterculture movement grunge was meant to be ended up becoming all the opposite, mainly because I'm meant to be, and bust the fish off a the fridge, mate. The album didn't receive much attention outside the scene, some schools, but it became popular. Oh, right.